We're good to proceed, Mayor Rochford.
Thank you very much, Mr. Trottier, and welcome council to this meeting of Tuesday, July 13th. And so on that note, we call the meeting to order and we move forward, Madam Clerk, with the adoption of the agenda.
Second, please.
Can everyone hear Madam Clerk?
No, couldn't hear.
Yeah, just speak a little louder.
Okay, I require a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Champagne, seconded by Councillor Kelly. That the draft agenda presented to council and dated the 13th day of July 2021 be adopted as amended by adding the following under section 17 in camera session, update on medical building and municipal office under proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board.
C'est bon? All in favor? Thank you so much. Carried. So we move to item 3, accepting the minutes of the previous meetings of held June 22nd.
Okay, I require a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Lougheed, seconded by Deputy Mayor Trahan. That the minutes of the regular meeting of council held June 22nd, 2021 be adopted as circulated.
All in favor? Oh,
No, I'm good.
that's good. All in favor? Deputy Mayor Trahan? Yes, okay. Thank you so much. Carrie, any business arising from the minutes? There being Councillor Champagne?
Yeah, I'd like to go on camera for one of the items on planning that we had discussed last meeting, please.
Okay, so we just, Madam Clerk, we've moved the agenda, but we can always add just before we go into, would that be correct? We did put.
Yes, we'll have to add it whenever we get to the resolution to
The
go in camera.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Councillor Champagne. With that being said, if there's no other business, we will move on to declarations of conflict of interest. There being none, chair's comments. There being none, delegations to council. There being none, committee reports. Public Works, I do believe we have a report for a meeting that was held on June 23rd. And so Deputy Mayor Trahan and Councillor Kelly, we turn it over to you.
Go ahead, Terry, if you want. I was
Sure.
meeting, so.
Okay, it's pretty straightforward. We've got the correspondence at first, Nosbonsing Road. The Director of Public Works advised construction is now complete with along with the shoulders. They did a really good job. Of course, now we're getting complaints. There's too many people speeding, but that goes with getting a new road. We've got surface treatment done by the end of July, will be done. Updated hydro at the landfill. The director advised that hydro is not allowed to come off the road allowance. Hydro will be able to do half the distance and the remaining distance will have to be done by a private contractor. Capital budget amount allocated is $50,000 for this project. And the director advised that he will have an estimate for the next meeting. So that'll be in later part of July. Loader purchase, I believe the loader's already in. It was finalized June 22nd with delivery to be June 25th. Winter sand scheduled for after Canada Day, which is July the 6th. And by the way, back in the day, Councillor Champagne was the biggest pusher for the sand dome, and it's proven to be a money saver. So
Yeah.
Good job there.
Yeah, we agree 100%. Good point.
And quite frankly, he pushed for at least 10 years that I know of before we finally bit the bullet and spent the money, and now we're saving. So good for you, Rick. Antoine, we had discussion of private roads. Update on 1 Mile Road. The committee was advised we've done the engineering work has been done. Drawing design to meet the standards. Antoine's working on estimates to be able to provide dollar amounts in early September. But we also, as a committee, decided we want to have a meeting with council as a whole to discuss the private roads and get an update and costs to bring forward. Because it's a very complex issue, as I know we've discussed before. And I'd like everyone, it'd be advantageous if we're all on the same page concerning our private roads. I think we've got more private roads than we do have municipal roads. So it's a very complex issue and potentially very costly. And we've got a letter from Mr. McCulloch concerning his letter on Quay Quay Road. Littering bylaw, committee is referring the bylaw to council for the July 13th meeting for first and second reading. That's going to come up. And placement of culverts diverting route around 827, 829 McPherson Drive. And Chair Trahan and the director had a site meeting. Can you give us details on that, Steve, please?
Yeah, so it's just the last couple of years have been watching the water flow in that area. So we're just doing some maintenance in that area and to get some water moving, and it's starting to cause some issues. So it's just some ditching and just diverting of water.
Okay. So unless there's something major coming up, our next meeting will be scheduled for the early part of September, but it is at the discretion of the call of the chair. And unless hopefully we don't have any major events during the summer, but the way the weather's going these days, there's no guarantees, that's for sure. Is there any questions? Okay.
Thank you very
That's
much.
Sorry?
And that's your, no, thank you, I was going to say.
Okay, thank you. Yes, and after that we had adjournment. But as I say, we'll be meeting at the early part of September unless there's issues that need addressing.
C'est bon. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And so if we move down the list, I believe the only other committee that had a report is the East Bear Centennial Celebration Committee. They met on July 6th. And Deputy Mayor Trahan, I may turn it over to you because I do believe maybe there is an update from some of the activities that were are being carried forward from Canada Day. Are you at liberty to speak on any of those points?
Well, we had a meeting and we're still working out a few logistics with regards to possibly for the Civic Long Weekend. So we need to just finalize a couple more things that possibly we're going to have going on the long weekend. Sorry about, I think I mentioned before that I'd have some more information. It's just some logistics we're working on right now with regards to that Sunday. So go ahead, Rick.
You're speaking about the fireworks, are you?
One of, yeah. There's a few other things that we're working on also for that day. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a few phone calls and I said to give you a call and see what was happening.
Sure. Yeah, if anybody wants to give me a call, it's fine. I'm hopefully by this week we can get we'll get it out in social media. I just I gotta talk to another person with regards of some safety stuff, and we're good to go. I just we had a couple other questions that came up in our committee for that, and I couldn't get an answer. So I'm hoping by tomorrow, and then we can get that out there.
So for everyone to stay tuned, that would be Sunday. Is that actually the 1st on Sunday, August the 1st? Okay, so that would be the date. So let's all stay tuned and watch out for what's coming on August 1st. So that's very interesting. C'est bon, thank you. Bon, on that note, then we will move forward. We will be speaking about the municipal office this evening. Councillor Champagne will make a report. So we move forward now to board reports. Library board had no meeting, I understand. So we come to police services board. We have the community safety and well-being plan. I'd like to thank Madame Clerk that circulated it to the committee, to council, I believe last week or the week before. And so I don't think, Madame Clerk, that we received any comments from council. Is that correct?
Correct. No comments were received.
So basically, I just want, again, just for council's sake, I just want to highlight the fact that on page 24 in the report, those are the issues that that the committee identified. If you want to, just to make sure to go to that the committee, the plan is seeking to address. And so if you go to page 24, you will find a list of challenges and opportunities that are listed there, and there's 12. So basically, this is the advisory committee from the survey that was done, and we know we had an excellent survey from our community with lots of participation. We had feedback, we had tables or they have the concertation, I don't know how you say that in English, where people come around and provide input in our community. And so basically then we did an analysis of literature that we had received from some of the agencies that we belong to. So the challenges that we're addressing is first, they're not necessarily in order of priority. They're maybe more so grouped by health, safety, and well-being. So the first three we view as being related to health: lack of access of primary care, lack of non-crisis medical services in our community, especially for seniors, increased inactivity. We'll recall the participation report that talks about, especially with youth at that level, that's been a problem for the last year due to the pandemic. Increased property crimes, and we're well aware of that issue that had come forward in our community last winter. Increased irresponsible driving is another one we wanted, the plan aims to tackle. Increased safety concerns for walkers and cyclists. And I think we've gone through this list before, but I'm just again mentioning it because this is the final list. Lack of internet access is viewed as a safety issue, because if you can't communicate in this day and age, we rely so much on the internet, so it's viewed as a safety issue. Lack of licensed childcare spaces in our community, lack of affordable housing, increase in social isolation, lack of recreational and social activities, especially for youth and teens, and then seniors. So basically two groups, and lack of knowledge of some of the programs. And I know I saw, you'll have seen in the report, there's quite a list of organizations in the greater Nipissing that serve our community for safety and well-being. And so it's important that we as a community, as a council, as a municipality, that we maybe bring more knowledge of these programs forward in our community. So that last bucket is about that, increasing the communication and the dissemination of information in East Ferris. And then from there, we go through on the pages that follow, 26, I think, to pages 29 are the strategies and the objectives. And I know that our committee had said, well, that's a lot. And certainly it is, in my view as well, but it is spread over 3 years. And so basically the activities, there's the focus is from 2022, 2023, and 2024. So that is the intention of a plan. There's research, some of the items require research, like we need to build a business case for more licensed childcare spaces, and elements like that will require some work and some time. But overall, I think it's a good plan for East Ferris. And so with that, I pause for questions. And if not, if there's no questions, we will be bringing forward a resolution. Madam Clerk will be bringing forward the resolution.
I do have a resolution prepared. Shall we put it on the floor?
Okay.
I require a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Kelly, seconded by Councillor Lougheed. Whereas on January 1st, 2019, new legislative amendments to the Police Services Act 1990 came into force, which mandated municipalities to prepare and adopt a community safety and well-being plan in collaboration with their multi-sectoral partners, including police services and boards. And whereas the Ministry of Solicitor General provided municipalities with a new deadline date with a 6-month extension from the original deadline date to help ensure that municipalities and their community partners continue to dedicate the necessary capacity and resources to meet the legislative requirements to develop a meaningful and effective community safety well-being plan. And whereas the East Ferris Police Services Board, along with the Community Safety and Wellbeing Advisory Committee, presented the plan to Council at their regular meeting held July 13, 2021 to approve and adopt. Be it hereby resolved that Council for the Municipality of East Ferris approve and adopt the Community Safety Wellbeing Plan as prepared and presented by the East Ferris Police Services Board and the Community Safety and Wellbeing Advisory Committee.
Merci, Madam Clerk. And so before we move to a vote, a final opportunity to ask any comments or to ask any questions or make a comment. Councillor Champagne? Councillor Champagne, you're on mute.
all the time. I'm here, I'm back now. I think it's a great plan. I just wondering, did we have an opportunity, Jason and yourself, Pauline, to look at it, to make sure it's all complete and right and all good?
Let Monsieur Trottier go first, and then I'll add any comments.
I took, Council Champagne, I took a look at it. I didn't see any major issues, but I wasn't, I wasn't part of the committee as well. It was Police Services Board that basically took the initiative with the committee and Mayor Rochford and that. So I'm not sure if there's a specific section you're alluding to, or.
No, I just want to make sure the i's are dotted and t's are crossed. That's all, making sure that we adopt something that's actually is for the municipality. So no, I feel comfortable with it. Pauline, any comments?
Well, thank you, Councillor Champagne. And so, yes, we did spend quite a bit of time on it with Madame Clerk and also our Deputy Clerk. And so we did spend time. We also, and I really appreciate the Gary Fay from our municipality that was involved. That was just, and there's also Megan Waukee, who was with the Lynn, that's from our municipality, that was involved. So we had the principal from Ferris Glen, we had the representation from École Saint-Thomas-d'Aquin. So, and the OPP as well, the Staff Sergeant Bill was, there has been a lot, I find, of involvement. So I think it's a good plan that builds on what we are currently doing. Wait, Councillor Trahan?
It doesn't say what the OPP is going to do in this, some of this safety planning here. I'm not too sure that they have a, input of, like, I'm just take one for a second. You said something about the public works, implement an aggressive driving programs. Now, is that coming from the
Yes.
OPP, or is that because it?
So,
I
yes,
want to make sure it's not coming from public works.
no, it's coming from the OPP. So they're
Okay.
currently doing a research on different programs that have been, are going on or have been held in the province of Ontario that they deem have been successful. And so they will be bringing that forward to the Police Services Board. And so they basically, that is, so input, certainly substantial input from their part.
And they're going to continue with their MAD program, of course.
Yeah, so
Because
yeah.
I don't see it on here, so I just want to make sure.
Well, there's certainly, so these are additional initiatives maybe to what is currently going on. So the focus is on maybe new strategies to try and tackle. But I do know, like, for example, we do talk about some of the ongoing programs when it comes to the safety issue with respect to homes, where we say Crime Stoppers Month, lock it or lose it, these existing campaigns. We want to increase the communication and awareness related to property crime using some of these programs. So those are maybe some of the ones that we've highlighted, but certainly we can add MAD. I mean, it's a very good comment, no issue there. That's the purpose we're bringing this up this evening. So we'll add that, Deputy Mayor Trahan. Thank you. But on that note, then we will move forward. And I'd also like to thank Councillor Loughy, because she is the one that had brought us forward literature on social determinants. And that was also equally very helpful. So I'm not sure if we do completely justice to the literature, but at least it is a starting point for us on that note. So with that said, we have a motion. All in favor? C'est bon, thank you so much, Carrie. And we will be reporting back to council. That is part of the plan, or through the Police Services Board. It will be coming back to council. Thank you. Okay, so we'll move forward now to departmental reports, and there are none. Notice of motions, there are none. Bylaws, and so we have two bylaws. And the first one is an excellent bylaw on littering. So I'm not sure if I should turn this over to Deputy Mayor Trahan or to Monsieur Trottier.
Don't matter. I can say I reviewed the bylaws. We've worked on it. It's gone back and forth within the committee a few times. And Also is our treasurer, Minik has done an excellent job in doing the research and putting it together. And I don't know if everybody else had a chance to do a quick read of it, but it's, yeah, I think it's very favorable. And I think it meets our needs in our municipality. And then it also, what's nice about this bylaw too, is that we can, as we grow, we're going to be able to add to it very easily. So.
But Madam Clerk, do you want it? We'll table it and then we'll pause and just see if there's additional comments. That was a great introduction. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Trahan.
Okay, I require a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Champagne, seconded by Councillor Kelly. The bylaw number 2021-31 being a bylaw for the purpose of prohibiting littering on private or municipal property in the municipality of East Ferris be read a first and second time this 13th day of July 2021.
And so, Madam Clerk, basically, we still have the opportunity to take this home and to digest it further and make comments at our upcoming meeting, correct?
You do. The third reading will be prepared for the meeting of August 10th. And then once approved and adopted by council, it will be forwarded to the Ministry of Solicitor General for the penalty implementation and approval. And once we receive that back from the Ministry of Solicitor General, then our bylaw, we will be able to do some fining and charging.
Councillor Champagne?
So all our comments are going to go to you, Monica?
You could send them to me and then I would implement them in an email to council saying the changes that some council members would like to see before the meeting.
Thank you.
So if there are no other comments, do we vote tonight on the first and second reading? All in favor? C'est bon? Okay, carried. Thank you so much. And so now we move forward to street scan. And for that, I guess we turn it over to you, Mr. Trottier.
Sure, thank you, Mayor Rochford. So basically what this is an agreement with Street Scan, and they've got a partnership with FCM, I believe it is. And what it is we want to have Street Scan drive our pavement roads. So years ago, and Councillor Kelly and Champagne will remember this, we had all our roads driven and then we get the condition index and it's for asset management purposes, right? So what we did is several months ago, we applied to FCM for a grant to assist with paying this. It's 90% funding. So in the end, it would end up costing the municipality about $2,400 if we get the FCM grant. This whole agreement is it's based basically on getting the grant. If we don't get the grant, we will not do the work. If we get the grant, then we've only got to pay $2,400 out of pocket. By signing the agreement now, the company is going to be in our area within the next couple months and we'll do the work. With the understanding that we do not get the data unless we get the FCM grant and pay the difference. So if we don't get the FCM grant, they will have driven the roads at their expense and we don't pay anything. Unless council was to say, well, we didn't get the FCM grant, so we're going to pay $25,000 for the information. So that's where we're at right now. But for them to be in the area, and we're not the only municipality that they're going to be working with, they're going to be coming up to our area. So we thought this is the time to get it done. And within the next month or two, we should hear from FCM. And as long as everything goes fine, we will have an updated study on our roads. So
I suspect as well, Mr. Trottier, that it's a good thing in a sense to say that we'd like you to collect the data because they must be in contact with FCM. And so that would potentially help improve our chances of getting funding?
That's correct, yes. So we, Antoine's kept in the loop with FCM basically, and we're expecting something in the next month, yay or nay from FCM. And that's why we've brought the agreement forward now so that the company can begin the work. So, and it's good for us because in the long run, if we don't get FCM funding, we may be coming back to council to say the information is very beneficial to pay for because it all has to do with asset management, right? The more information you have, the better decision you can make in terms of your road network. So nothing different than doing building condition assessments for some of our buildings and that. So it's all about getting the proper data for asset management.
Yeah, if we get that information, it's going to tell us which roads we have to tackle first and which ones are immediate need of attention. And it's going to be great information to get. So hopefully we can get that budget that grant and be able to pay the $2,400 and get that information. It's going to help out the public works and direction on which roads we tackle next, right? So.
I know we didn't table the motion or the resolution, Madam Clerk. Do you want to do that now?
We can. I require a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Champagne, seconded by Councillor Lahi. Whereas Council for the Municipality of East Ferris deems it expedient to pass 3 readings of the following bylaw at this session, be it hereby resolved that a bylaw to authorize the execution of an agreement between the Corporation of the Municipality of East Ferris and StreetScan Canada ULC be read a first, second, and third time, passed and numbered 2021-32, and that the said bylaw be signed by the mayor and clerk and sealed with the seal of the corporation.
Any further comments or questions? C'est bon? All in favor? C'est bon, thank you, Carrie. Thank you very much.
Mayor,
That's excellent.
just a
Oui,
quick,
Councillor Champagne.
quick comment. Well, I didn't want to talk about it at the motion, but maybe we should congratulate Joanne Vanderhayden. She's the new president of
Oh, no, I
FPM.
didn't know that. Okay.
She's a very
Yes.
good friend of our municipality, so every little thing might help.
I don't know. I think right now, if we just gave direction to Monsieur Tracy, we should issue a letter, I would think. That would be a good, would that be, could
Yep.
we just do that? Yes, I didn't know that. And so thank you very much, Councillor Champagne. Yes.
Mayor Rochford will prepare a letter on behalf of council and send it to Joanne congratulating her on her new position.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. Okay, we move into correspondence. Deputy Mayor Trahan?
Okay, I'll touch base just a little bit on number C. I just throw it out there that I'm in support with our fire department responding to and extracting animals that were left in vehicles, whether it's cold weather or hot weather. So I guess the fire department committee will have to, if everybody's in support of it, then we'll have to make some changes to the level of services from the fire department to be able to act on this. I believe that it probably would have to go that way. Anyway, Erica can bring that into the committee, and if everybody's in support, then fine. Also, how about number F, support for letter motion to include the PSA testing for men.
Yes.
So I'm in that situation right now. So for being tested, so support that. And also in number I, so with Gilles Labrèche, we've acknowledged her letter and it's been received, and we'll take it from here.
Thank you so much. Yep.
Thanks.
Pardon me, what was the first one again?
See,
Oh, yes, yeah, I got it. Yes, so we've got that. And yeah, so the town, and so I think everyone would be in agreement, town of Cochrane, the PSA test, I would say that that's, oh, so that's good. And Gilles Labrèche, we understand it's been passed on to the Public Works Committee. C'est bon, thank you so much. Councillor Kelly.
Yes, I've had the ones that Steve had, as well as item number G, Tay Valley, concerning the funding of medical equipment for replacement costs for hospitals. It's becoming onerous, and I know there's a separation of hospitals as far as care goes, so they're specializing. I know the cities, they'll have one hospital for burns, one for cancers, one for hearts, and so forth, because the cost of the equipment is onerous. For a small city like North Bay, they could use assistance, especially for the funding of some of the specialized equipment. And it's a lot easier for people to, especially for day surgeries and so forth, to be able to go home after the surgery is over. So, and it, quite frankly, for the province, it's affordable. For small cities, not so much. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a good point. Excellent. C'est bon. Councillor Lahi.
All my points were made already. Thank you very much for those, bringing them all up, and I'm good for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Champagne.
Yeah, all my points were brought up except for B. Isn't this one kind of redundant because we're going into step 3 now, and step 2 is basically done.
C'est bon, oui. Yes, concur. Excellent. So thank you. So anything else, Councillor Champagne?
No, that's it for me. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, we go ahead.
Question regarding article number L for Jill Labreche. Deputy Mayor, did you advise that you wanted that letter referred to the Public Works Department or just a letter sent to Jill saying that council acknowledged her letter?
You can do both. That's fine. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But thank you. And just to add to item L, Madame Labrèche, I was surprised. I read her letter and I was delighted to learn about the history of her father, because I remember we had written an article way back in addition on McPherson Drive, its development, and we always talked about how it was Fred McNutt with Alex McPherson and Father LaFrance that had developed, with Morris Snyder, that had developed McPherson Drive. But she was right, George Labrèche was in the article, his name. He was the realtor overseeing the real estate transaction. And in 1972, the township accepted the finished road into our road system. And so basically, he's certainly at the heart of some of the developments that did occur on McPherson Drive and Centennial Crescent. And so her letter reminded me of that. And so I don't know if she's listening this evening, but I appreciated learning, because it's good to know, who did what in our municipality. I always find that of interest. So thank you, Madame Labrèche. And maybe in a letter we thank her for sharing with us the history, because it's good to, as Councillor Lougheed has pointed out before, to know our history is so critical. And so I welcomed her letter. So on that note, we move forward to action items. Madam Clerk, approval of correspondence.
I require a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Kelly, seconded by Deputy Mayor Trahan. The council acknowledged the correspondence and information as circulated with the agenda dated the 13th day of July, 2021.
All in favor? C'est bon, thank you so much. We move to item B, Kingsville. And we'll recall that Councillor Kelly, you had brought this asking for resolution of support from council in support of Bill C-21. And we had just said if we could defer it to give us a chance to read the bill and to come back with maybe some suggestions of what our resolution should contain. And so I don't know if council has had a chance to do so. I know myself, I did. I sent my comments or suggestions to Councillor Kelly just today, and I do apologize if you haven't had a chance yet to read them, but I could certainly make them vocal tonight. I did prepare, but I turn it over to council first. Well, if I may, then just on that note, I think we do certainly. I find the issue. I found the bill has many good elements, and so I was suggesting to Councillor Kelly, maybe there's a way we can write the resolution where we highlight our support for some of the elements that are so important to help combat illegal harms and guns. I should say arms with it. I say the H. Sorry, arms with an ARMS. And so. But certainly in this bill, there are items that are difficult for rural communities. So for example, while we do appreciate the idea of maybe municipalities themselves having to put forward resolutions that would, ban guns in their community, we can appreciate the challenges that it would impose if Bonneville had one and we didn't have one, Chisholm had one, and then Callander didn't have one. I mean, it's very difficult. But certainly for larger cities where it's difficult, these sort of regulations are very difficult to pass. But maybe for cities, the city of Toronto or larger cities, maybe this is a required element. And I wasn't sure about that. And I thought before we put something down that may have benefits in other jurisdictions, maybe there's a way of positioning it. But certainly as well, I mean, for us, we do have a number of hunters. We come from a community that has a history. And so I share in the support. Many of my family members are hunters. Both male and female, and so I do believe that it is a good, if it's a hobby or that we support and we defend and that we encourage. But at the same time, in this bill, there are items that are different. They talk about fighting gun smuggling and trafficking, and maybe, Deputy Mayor, these are items that you're more familiar with. But I would think that trying to suggest that these are not good activities is a good thing overall. So that's where I was hoping that we might be able to draft a resolution that speaks about what's important for us to keep for us, or to say we don't like these elements, and then maybe to highlight what we would give support to. So that was a suggestion, Councillor Kelly. I don't know how you feel about that, because you did bring this forward. So if you were
Well,
receptive to that, we could work on it.
Sure. I think it's worth looking at. I think we all have the same problem. I think we're targeting legal gun owners who are responsible instead of putting more teeth in the laws when they're for criminals and the gun smuggling and so forth. I mean, Canada's had handgun legislation, I believe, since the 1930s. It's a long time. And there's always been restrictions as far as firearms go for the last 70, 80 years that I'm aware of. And we've got a great hunter education program and so forth. But it's not that the licensed gun holders are not the problem. It's the criminals that are the problem. So I would say anything that exonerates the people that haven't done it and targets the people that are committing the crimes is worthwhile. But I agree with the patchwork. How do you really control a situation where a neighboring municipality might be illegal, whereas your municipality is legal? It's very difficult to do. So, but I'd be interested in hearing from the deputy mayor.
Well, it's a big conversation right now. Like, and I see where this is at, and I see what you're saying is like, and as well as the mayor, like, other municipality or townships don't have stuff, and then if one does, how does this get enforced, right? So it's starting to be a problem up here. I see it, where a lot of the people from down south that are, doing criminal activities and are coming up here with handguns, right? So they're on our streets, and so things are going to have to be changed. Gun laws are going to have to be changed. I agree with Councillor Kelly. The people that obey the rules and use the handguns for the appropriate use for sports or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? And then you have the other side where they're not, they're using them illegally. So it's too bad we don't have the criminal code doesn't inflect that a little more stricter laws for the people that are committing those crimes, right? So it's, but you can only bring the ball for so far to somebody else, and somebody else has got to take it and run with it too, right? So it touches so many different hands here. So it's tough to, you know what I mean, to get everybody, full circle here to be able to create something that's going to benefit everybody here. So
Thank you.
it's an ongoing issue, right? So it's going to take a lot more conversations and some movement. So
Other comments? Councillor Lougheed, Councillor Champagne? Ben, if I may, with your, so for example, Bill C-21, there's also sections on how to combat intimate partner and gender-based violence, where if you feel that there's someone that's going to harm, you could report. So there are elements like that that I felt maybe are important as well, that we've seen traces of in our community. And so with your permission, I wouldn't mind if Councillor Kelly, Deputy Mayor Trahan, and myself, maybe we could try to craft a resolution and bring it back at our next council that would keep as we said, the good elements, but those that don't work for us, we would not include in that resolution. Would that be all right? I offered to put a first draft together for our review, and we could build from there. Yeah? Okay. Well, with that said, then we will proceed in this manner. And I know that Shannon Stubbs is, again, I think the same thing she's dealing with. I read all of the proceedings of the committee, so she's a very active MPP for sure. We'll move then to the approval of the municipal flag. And I'm not sure, Monsieur Trottier, if we turn that over to Madame Clerk or to yourself.
I can proceed if you want, Monica. It's
Yeah,
up to
go
you.
ahead, because I'd have to open it, Jace, if you don't mind.
Okay, so we staff have developed a municipal flag policy as we don't currently have a flag policy. And with the creation or the design of our new flag, and also in the capital budget, council approved the purchase of flagpoles. So the idea would be to have 3 flagpoles at the municipal office and 3 at the community center. So with that comes a policy. So this is what's before council today. And I believe, Monica, we're looking at it's only first and second reading at this point, or is there third as well?
No, Jason, it's not a bylaw, it's just a policy.
We can't hear you, Monica.
It's just a bylaw, it's not a, I'm sorry, it's just a policy, it's not a bylaw, so there's no reading. Once it's approved by council, then it'll go in our policy manual.
Okay, yeah. So also the flag policy also captures when we'll reduce it to half-mast, how we go about flying flags, like what's the criteria. It's got a request form for when other organizations, such as Pride Organization or Autism comes forward and wants us to fly their flag. There's a request form that would be filled out and submitted as well. So it's our first flag policy. It's highly modeled after the City of North Bay's policy. Why recreate the wheel? But there was a few items in North Bay's that didn't pertain to us, so we've made it work.
Personally, I thought it was just excellent. I know I shouldn't speak like that right now, but I thought it was really complete and well done. I certainly offer that as opening remarks. And Councillor Champagne?
Yeah, the only thing I don't see on there, unless I'm missing it, is there a time frame that we can leave the flag fly for?
Yes.
I can't seem to see it.
You're talking about, Rick, say a different organization or something?
Yeah, let's say somebody decides for autism to put it up.
Yeah.
And we keep it on for 3 months, 6 months, a year. I don't know.
Yeah, we got that, Jay's got that time span in there.
Yeah, it would be under section 4.31, I believe. 1 business day is subject to the availability of the flag staff and at the discretion of council.
Yeah, it says on there 10 days prior to raising it, but I don't see that on there.
That's 10 days for them to supply the flag to the municipality office, and then after that, it's a 1 day they can fly. Or if they want to, if somebody, a counselor or somebody wants to bring it forward to say, you know what, we're going to fly it for whatever time span, we can make that collaborative as a group decision and do that. So it's very flexible.
Okay.
It's very good policy.
As well, Mayor and Council, the reason for the 1 business day is a lot of times it's a 1-day event, but if Pride came forward and said it's a week long, or council proclaims East Ferris, it could be Autism Week. Well, we can leave the flag up for a week then. It's at our discretion. Well, most flag raising will be for the 1 day. And then whenever it comes to flags that are lowered at half-mast, it's also in the policy to say when it'll be lowered and when it'll be brought back up to its normal height, or raised.
Other questions? So all in favor? C'est
So
bon.
I require a mover and a seconder on the resolution. Moved by Councillor Kelly, seconded by Councillor Mahi. The council for the municipality of East Ferris approved the municipal flag policy as prepared and presented.
Now all in favor.
There.
C'est bon. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you very much, Mr. Tretier, Madam Clerk. I know you did a lot of the work, so that's wonderful. Thank you. Approval of accounts payable. Oh, no, we jumped one. Okay, resolution canceling. Well, I think that's our summer meetings, correct? So we need
That
a
is
resolution
correct.
to cancel them, yeah.
That is correct. So I require a mover, moved by Councillor Champagne. Oh, did you want to say something?
Yeah, just a question. So with everything that's going on, we can have a meeting. I call the chair, right?
It will say in the resolution, yes.
Yeah.
So moved by, I require Councillor Champagne, seconded by Deputy Mayor Trahan. Whereas section 5.3 of the council procedural bylaw number 2020-17 states that there shall only be 1 meeting of council held in the month of July and August. Be it hereby resolved, the council for the municipality of East Ferris canceled the regular scheduled meetings of July 27th and August 24th, 2021, and that a special meeting of council be scheduled in accordance with section 240 of the Municipal Act as amended at the call of the chair if required.
All in favor? C'est bon, thank you so much.
Okay,
Approval of accounts payable.
I require a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Deputy Mayor Trahan, seconded by Councillor Lougheed. The council approved the general accounts for the municipality of East Ferris as indicated in the check registers dated July 13, 2021 in the amount of $623,006.47.
All in favor? C'est bon. Thank you so much. And so there being no other business, we will proceed to in camera. And Madam Clerk, we will make in the resolution, if you could make the addition of not the realty matter, I guess the realty matter that was discussed last week or 2 weeks ago.
I do have that in the resolution. It was the planning matter that
Yes,
Councillor
planning, that's it. Thank you so much.
Planning matter.
Right.
Planning matter. Councillor Champagne, does that the planning matter regarding file for Mr. Staples?
Wait,
Planning matter pertaining to file. Okay, so I require a mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Kelly, seconded by Councillor Champagne. That this meeting proceeds to in-camera session at 6:47 p.m. in order to address matters pertaining to property on Nosman Singh Park Road, medical building, municipal office, and planning matters pertaining to file of Mr. Staples under a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality of or local board. And we need something for the file for Mr. Staples. And the council will bear. Personal matters about identifying individuals. Is
Right.
that the one you want to use, Councillor Champagne?
I think he said yes. Is that correct,
Oh, okay.
Councillor Champagne? Yes.
Okay,
Damn button.
okay. Can